My name's Taylor Shimanek. I was asked to actually go to the school and give this presentation, but for all of the circumstances, here we are. So thank you guys that are signed in. I'm going to give a pretty brief presentation, just kind of talking about life after college. So just some of the things that I've found since I started working, and maybe some tips and helpful things. If there's anything that you have questions about, please feel free to use the chat window. So I just kind of wanted to give a little bit of background about myself. So I am an OSU alum. I was there from 2014 and then graduated in December of 2018. So in 2014, I actually started working as a career coach in the lovely Seek Career Services office. So the ladies that are hosting this event. So I was a career coach throughout my time at OSU. I got my bachelor's in mechanical engineering was my degree. And throughout my school year, I did have quite a few different internships. So I did an internship with Michelin, the tire company, down in Ardmore, Oklahoma. I did an internship with ExxonMobil outside Houston. And then I did another internship at Associated Electric. So they're a power generation company. After graduation, I went to work for FM Global. I don't know if any of you have probably heard of FM Global. It's kind of a unique job. So FM stands for Factory Mutual Insurance Company. So I am an engineer and I work for an insurance company, but we don't insure your typical home and auto type stuff. We insure about a third of the world's Fortune 500. So your Boeing, Schlumberger, Phillips 66, Integris Hospitals are just some of my clients that I work with. But basically what I do, my job is to go visit our clients, so the people and corporations that we insure. And I do kind of risk assessment and risk analysis for my clients in an engineering capacity. So a lot of the places I'm going every day are manufacturing sites and warehouses and everything from data centers, to complex hospitals. So it's very varied depending on the day. So it keeps things interesting. But I've been with FM since January of last year. So been there about a year and 4 months now. But just so you know, that gives you a little bit better idea of kind of my background. Okay. I think a lot of people get caught up, in school. You're always just trying to, pass the next test and study for the next thing that's coming. And you feel like you constantly have all these, things on your calendar that you have to do. Maybe I probably thought once you get out of school, and you have a full-time job, I would have a little bit more freedom. That may not necessarily be true. So just because you're, working a full-time job, you may have fewer, individual things like classes, but you still have quite a bit on your plate, especially because, you're now expected to work, at least a 40-hour work week. So a lot of people, I think, are really used to, just showing up for their classes, which is, not that often, maybe 15 hours or so a week. And so I think their adjustment from 15 hours a week to 40 hours a week or more can be a little bit hairy. And then also, when you kind of start your first job, I think a lot of people it takes some time to learn, because when you get dropped into a brand new environment, you have to learn everything there is about the business. And that in itself is a pretty large learning curve. You know, not necessarily anything to do with the engineering, but you have to familiarize yourself with your coworkers and how business works. And a lot of businesses use acronyms. So that's kind of a learning curve in itself at first. So I found when I first started the job, I worked more than 40 hours a week, probably. And then the second one, kind of continuously trying to improve or striving to better yourself. I think a lot of people probably, you know, you get your first job and you're really excited and you're making money, which is great. But I think some people can try to kind of stall and just kind of stay the same and ride out that same thing, you know, for several years and not really do anything else career-wise. I think it's really important to try to always strive for something or have some kind of goal in mind, whether that's professionally or even just, you know, whether you decide you want to run a marathon or something like that. But it keeps you continuously learning and continuously wanting more. I think that was one of my biggest surprises, I guess, getting into the workplace is you are not done learning. School is just the tip of the iceberg, unfortunately. So keeping in mind that you're always going to have to, you know, continuously strive and improve at what you're doing. And then the third one, so I said getting and keeping a good job is key. Underline the keeping. I think the important thing with this is I've had several friends.
So sorry.
Oh, no, you're good.
Oh, what happened? Okay, keep going.
You're good. I've had several friends that probably got a job, but it wasn't necessarily the right fit for them. It wasn't the right fit for their personality or, you know, something that they just really were passionate about or loved doing. And the job didn't really work out for them. I think a lot of people aren't always focused on, you know, like they think once you get a job, you know, like that's great, you know, I'm just going to coast and stay there. But I have actually had a couple of friends lose their jobs. And I think the key there wasn't that they weren't, you know, good students and good workers and that kind of thing, but it wasn't a job that they were passionate about. And it was hard for them to be motivated, you know, to continuously try to improve at their job. So I think the two things to remember there is, you know, try to get a job that you think is really going to suit you, that you're actually going to like. Because if you don't like it and you hate going to work every day, it's probably not going to go very well for you. And making sure that you're getting a job that you like and something that you can see yourself doing long term is going to help you ensure that you're going to keep that job. And then I know, you know, people our age or millennials or whatever they say, we kind of have a bad rap leaving jobs or bouncing to different jobs pretty quickly, but I think that's because our generation is more focused now on, you know, we do want to enjoy our jobs. And so I think it's really important trying to do that at the beginning, and then it makes things easier down the road. And then one of my other points was try to keep in touch with people, especially people that were your really good friends in college, that you suffered through exams and classes with and really bonded with. After graduation, people are going to get jobs, you know, all over the place. Your friends are going to kind of spread out. It gets a lot harder to keep in touch with people when you're working full time and live in different places. But those people can really be great contacts for you. And also just kind of like help you adjust to your working life. because they're kind of going through the same experiences that you are, maybe just at a different company. So I would say try to really make an effort to keep in touch with people. And then nextly, try to take ownership of everything that you do when you start a full-time job. So really take your work as this is mine and mine alone. And if you make a mistake too, that's okay, but take ownership of it. I would say a lot of people in the career worlds don't really appreciate, if you submit some work and there's something wrong with it, and then you try to blame someone else for it, or, push it off on yourself. I would just say really take ownership of all the work that you do. And if you do make a mistake, own it and fix it and move on. People appreciate that a lot more than trying to make excuses. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about was really trying to manage your own schedule. So for me, my current job, it's a little bit unique because I do actually work from home half the time, and then the other half of the time I am out visiting clients. So it's kind of half travel and half working from home. For me, the big challenge with that was a lot of my friends, they go into an office and they work, from 8 to 5, and then they go home. And so when they go home, their work is left and, they're home. For me, because I work from home and I kind of work remotely, it kind of feels like the work constantly comes. So even though I'm at home, I might still be getting emails at 7 o'clock at night, or, people are constantly calling me or bugging me just because I'm at home. So for me, it was really a struggle, especially starting out, because when you start a new job, you want to be good at what you do and you want to be successful at what you do. And you really don't want to feel like, we don't want to say no to anything. So for me, I kind of struggled a lot because I didn't say no to anything for a while. And so I kind of kept letting people put more work on me and do more, and, put more and more on me until, they'll continue to do that until you say something. So for me, I kind of struggled with really managing and setting my schedule. So now, basically what I do is, I'm online from 8 until 5. And if it's outside of that time, I don't answer it until the next morning. Or on weekends, same thing. And then also really trying to block off my calendar and letting people know that, if they're scheduling me to be in 3 different places that week and it takes 3 hours to travel to all those, maybe telling my schedulers, hey, 3 is too much. I need to, reschedule one of those till later. So that was something that I kind of struggled with. And I think the key there is knowing that you can say no. Maybe don't say no all the time, but you definitely need to talk to the people that you work with and communicate that pretty clearly if it is too much for your workload.